When doing diversity and inclusion training for corporations, usually I focus it on some of the specific needs that that particular company or corporation has. And oftentimes we're exploring bias. We might also be building a business case for diversity, which is very important first for everyone to understand why this is necessary. So when we build a business case for diversity, then we look at how can this particular company better reflect the community that it serves. Oftentimes that means not only hiring a more diverse, qualified pool of candidates, but also it means better understanding the diverse and unique needs of their customers, clients, and the community which they serve. I think we have challenges when it comes to diversity because naturally, as human beings, we relate to what is most like us. And when we see someone who seems to be most like us, we relate to them more easily. We tend to also go through life somewhat mindlessly sometimes because it's easier. It's actually easier on our brain. And so we don't take a lot of time to learn how to relate to people who are not like us. But when we do, we become much more powerful, much more productive. And so in the workplace, understanding why diversity is important can make us a happier, productive, more powerful company or corporation, because we've got the chance for people to really be more innovative and creative and learn a lot from those around us if we'll just open our mind and really listen to what other people have to share. I find that the challenges in corporations are bias and not understanding how bias can negatively impact work groups. And so oftentimes I'm working with people to help them understand and identify bias within themselves and within others so that they can begin to create a more open-minded, innovative workplace by accepting and looking at and listening to what other people have to say and what they have to share. Because often work groups are stuck in the same cycle that they're used to because it's just like minds working together. And when they broaden that and include more people and more ideas in, then they become much more innovative and much more productive. Well, living in the Pacific Northwest, I have noticed that people deal with diversity a lot differently than they do in other places where I've trained in the South or in the East and the Northeast as well. In the Pacific Northwest, people tend to kind of gloss over it, and we all want to get along. We're all very friendly people, so it seems that we are nice and open and accepting to people at all times. But what happens, not only here but across the U.S., is that we have moved away from the overt racism and things that happen, and we have started to accept a much more covert type of racism and discrimination. And this happens not only in our communities, but in our workplace and in our schools. And so I really feel that it is our responsibility to start to recognize that and individually start to create change. I believe that we have the ability as individuals to create social change, but we don't need to get bogged down by the enormous challenge that it sometimes feels like, and we need to just take one step at a time and make one gesture after one gesture after one gesture to begin to put away stereotypes and biases and begin to create a workplace and an atmosphere, a learning atmosphere in schools, and a community in which we can better serve each other and we can be stronger and more powerful people. But it takes individuals who want to create change. And so as a social change agent, I feel that it's my responsibility to help others take on that personal and individual responsibility themselves. interesting because sometimes people will question, why is this white woman who has privilege in this world working in diversity and inclusion, and what does she really have to say? And I believe that I have a lot to share and a lot to help people identify within themselves. I think that as a white American, I do come with a lot of privilege, and if I can help other white Americans identify what that privilege is and how we can use it to begin to create change, and how we can use privilege to begin to help do away with racism and discrimination, then we can actually have a lot of power when it comes to change. And I would rather use that power to create positive change and help lift up everyone else. So my race plays an important role in what I do, because I feel that it's there to really help make a difference and to help others like me to make a difference. To maybe look through a different lens and find a new perspective with which to see things. When we can look at things with a new perspective, we change the way we act and react to situations. And when we begin to change the way that we're acting and reacting to things, we begin to create positive change. And in the workplace, we certainly oftentimes are up against challenges where we need to create positive change. When we can do that effectively as a team or as a group of people, then we improve everything that is coming out. One of the other things we do in trainings is look at and identify the most common reasons that people sit quiet and don't respond to discrimination and stereotypes and racist remarks. And some of the reasons we do that are based in fear. And when we can begin to identify those and create strategies and techniques for speaking up, then we begin to positively affect change in the workplace. My name is Shelley Lucas, and I am a social change agent. I believe that we all have the ability to become agents of change. We can positively impact social change in our nation, in corporations, in the classrooms, and even in our communities. Individually, we have the ability to create change.